Hi everyone, welcome to A Stitch in Time. Today is Sunday, it is September 15th, 2024, and this is episode 291. My name is Carol, I go by Knits and Pearls on Ravelry, and I live east of Vancouver in the Fraser Valley of British Columbia, Canada, where we are enjoying a beautiful autumn day. The sky is blue, the sun is shining, there's a few clouds, it's just the right temperature. It is truly the best of this fall season. How are you doing? It's been a while, almost a month in fact. Life here has been busy and stressful. And to be honest, I've been suffering from a sense of overwhelm these past few weeks, and so the podcast was put on the back burner, including responding to comments and catching up on posts in the Ravelry group. Things have calmed down a little bit. I had planned to record on Thursday, and then I got hit by some unknown virus. It wasn't a cold, it wasn't COVID, just was feeling under the weather for a few days. But I'm here today. It's Sunday. I don't usually record on a Sunday, but my husband has been away for a long weekend golf trip. I just heard from him and they just finished their last round of golf, and so I imagine they'll have some lunch and then head home. So I don't expect to see him until late this afternoon, early this evening. So it seemed like a good time to sit down and catch up with you. During these hectic times, I've been finding a lot of joy and peace in my crafting, and so I do have a number of projects to share with you today, including a couple of new ones. But before I do that, I just want to remind you there are a couple of make-alongs that are taking place in the Ravelry group. The first is Smash the Stash, which is a year-long chatter thread. And the other is the third of the 4 quarterly make-alongs that are taking place this year. It will be wrapping up at the end of this month, and that is Rock Your Socks. So if you have any thing that you've been working on for that make-along, socks, leg warmers, slippers, be sure to finish them up by the end of the month and post your picture of your finished project in the FO thread. You can find all the information you need for both of those make-alongs in the A Stitch in Time podcast Ravelry group. Read the first post of each of the pertinent threads, and that'll tell you everything you need to know to participate. I am also happy to announce a gift away today. I'm using that term gift away because Nancy of Knit Sip Happy says that tends to keep the scammers down, and so I'm not going to use the alternative word. I'll refer to it as a gift away. Straight up front, I'm going to tell you that I will never contact you directly to say that you have won a prize. I only ever announce them here on the podcast. So if you receive any sort of message saying you've won something from me and to disclose any personal information or to click here or do any of that, that is a scam. The only exception to that is if you receive a Ravelry message, but that even then, I tend to like people to discover they've won by watching the podcast. So I was contacted a little while ago by Darlene, who is Tinker Tailor 3 on Ravelry. And Darlene works at a really unique yarn shop, and she asked me if I would talk about that shop on my podcast to give it some attention. And in turn, she sent me a project bag that she had made. And she said I could either keep it or gift it away, and I chose to do the latter. So why don't I show you that bag? So here it is. It's a really nice size. You can definitely fit several skeins of yarn in there. It's this beautiful batik fabric. Has these carry handles plus a drawstring closure, and then it's lined with this really nice alphabet fabric. I think you can see all the letters of the alphabet all scrambled up there. So I want to get my notes and this letter that Darlene sent to me so I can make sure I give you all the information. So the shop that she works at is called Once Upon a Sheep, and it is located in Maple Ridge, BC, which is probably not quite an hour drive from where I live. It's a very special shop because it's a non-profit shop which is run entirely by volunteers. All of their net income is donated to the Salvation Army to help pay for sending underprivileged children to summer camp. So a really great cause. There is a website you can check out, but they do not sell their products online. So because they're a small shop and not a lot of people know about them, they are offering a 10% off coupon for first-time visitors during the month of October. So I will post a link to their homepage, or their website homepage, and you can find a coupon there, a place to download a coupon, or else I'll also put the direct link in the show notes. And if you print off a copy, or I imagine if you were to take a picture of the coupon, it doesn't say, it just says to provide a copy of their coupon. When you visit in October, you can get 10% off your purchase. This is for first-time shoppers only. I took a look at the website. They carry a variety of yarns, Barocco, Cascade, Estelle, Manos del Uruguay, Rowan, and Sirdar, just to name a few. They carry needles and crochet hooks, knitting accessories, booklets, and magazines, including ones that support some of the yarn lines that they carry. And they all are also holding classes. There is a class that runs from October 3rd to November 7th, which teaches you how to crochet a granny square chicken. So if you are local and you are interested in checking out this shop, then by all means go to the website, download your coupon, and check it out. I've never been, but we are going to be in, well, not in Maple Ridge, but close by Maple Ridge next Saturday. Not sure if we'll have time. We're taking part in a golf tournament, but I'm going to see if I've got a few minutes that we can stop by and visit the shop. Cross fingers, the timing works out. We have another stop to make on the way, so it might not. Their store hours are Tuesday open from noon till 6 p.m. and then Wednesday to Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And they're located on 22558 Lougheed Highway in Maple Ridge. So if you are interested in winning this bag, then leave a comment on YouTube with the word sheep in it. And I've never done the comment picker thing before, but I'm figuring it can't be that difficult. People use it all the time. And so next episode, I will draw from the comments on today's episode that contain the word sheep for a chance to win this bag. So thank you very much, Darlene, for reaching out and sending it. And if I'm not able to visit the shop this coming Saturday, then hopefully I will sometime in the near future. I was aware of it. I remember watching For the Fun of Knit. She is another BC podcaster, Linda, who I've mentioned before, and she and some friends did a little bit of a yarn tour out in the Fraser Valley, I think about maybe 2 months ago, and posted a video. So I'll actually provide a link to that video below also, so not only to give some love to Linda, but also so you can get a glimpse of this yarn shop yourself. All right, sip of tea, and then it's on to the crafty goodness. I have technically 5 works in progress. 1 finished, but it's spinning, so I will start with the knitting and crochet. First up, so I've got to lean over and grab this. First up are my Wild Atlantic Wildflower socks, which I am knitting from this really pretty yarn from Fiber Nymph Dye Works. There's her label. If you've watched for a while, you're no stranger to this site. This is the bedazzled base, and that is a 75-25 superwash merino, nylon, and stellina. It's a fingering weight. And when I purchased this yarn, I also received this mini skein. So look how pretty those are together. So I am knitting a pair of plain vanilla socks. My usual top down 64 stitches on a 2mm needle. Whoops, just dropped the bag, but that's okay. I have not really got that far with these. I am knitting them concurrently, and so I started out with the blue mini, and I'm also going to use that for the heel. And then this is one full stripe repeat, except for the blue. There is a blue stripe, but I figured because I had the cuff here in blue, you can see the color progression. And then I've only gotten to the green stripe on this sock. So you can see, compared to how much I usually knit socks, not a ton done. But there are other projects that have been capturing my attention more. Just gonna kind of try and clean up as I go as much as I can. So still loving those, just haven't been knitting socks very much lately, which is very unusual for me. In fact, it's September 15th and I've not even cast on my September Personal Sock Yarn Club socks. Very unusual for me. Look, I brought my fall cup out from David's Tea. I'm trying to do it without getting this shine from the window on it, but I can't. And this is one of those color changing mugs, so some of these leaves disappear as you drink your tea and the cup gets cooler. So just a reminder that my yarn for the September socks is from Polka Dot Creek. Sorry, I got a lot of glare today from the window. Sitting, as you can see, in a little bit of a different configuration. So this is the birch colorway. Look how gorgeous that is. I have wound it up. Step 1, right? And then it came the set with 2 mini skeins. So this brown one is chocolate and the green one is spruce. So that is gonna look fantastic together. Part of the stall on this is, by the way, it is a Superwash Merino nylon blend. My label is actually marked DK weight, but I am like 99% sure this is actually fingering. Fingering is what I ordered, and I think I just got the wrong label on it. It certainly seemed like enough yardage as I was winding it to be a fingering weight. So yeah, part of the reason I've stalled out on this is that I am still contemplating what I'm going to do with this. When I know I'm going to do complimentary heels, toes, and cuffs, and I know that I'm going to use approximately half of each of my skeins. I have divided the skein in half because I again will work 2 socks concurrently. And the great thing is when you put 100 grams of sock yarn with 40 grams of minis, you can get 2 pairs of socks out of 1 skein. So I know I'm going to do all that. What I haven't decided is if I'm knitting plain socks or knitting patterned socks. I went looking and I found like the perfect pattern for this yarn, which is called Birch Bark and Buds by Stacey Lewis. And it is a toe-up lace sock pattern. So it is perfect. On the other hand, it requires more thought than just a plain stockinette sock. Not sure I have that bandwidth right now. I'm also just hesitant. It works out to about $10 Canadian for the pattern. And while I certainly value designers, talents, and definitely they should be paid for their work, it just seemed a little bit steep for a sock pattern. So I kind of have to make up my mind whether I'm going to pull the trigger or not. I probably will, but I haven't made that decision 100% yet. Okay, can't wait to show you my next project. And that is Jethro by Tanis Lavallee of Tanis Fiber Arts. And I did show you the beginnings of this last episode, and I have just been enthralled with this project. It's a crochet project, which is very unusual for me. So it all started by going onto the Sweet Georgia Yarns website for some reason. I don't even remember why. And I just happened, I think it was either something on the homepage or the blog. Somehow it caught my attention that Felicia from Sweet Georgia was crocheting the Jethro cardigan. And it consists of granny squares, and then you pick up and you knit around the neckline and the bottom, and you add knit sleeves to it. And normally I don't have a huge desire to wear a crocheted garment, but it just looked so fun and relaxed and comfortable, so I decided to go for it. And I am so glad I did, because it's just been so much fun. So I had this set of Fiber Nymph Dye Works Mountain Tweed Merino DK in my stash for a couple of years. And these were full skeins. So as it turned out, I've used just over half of each of these skeins. So I still have plenty for another project. And then I purchased this soot colorway, 3 skeins of it, to do the last round of the granny squares and all the trim and the sleeves. So I had considered using black for it, but I thought that a more muted neutral to put it all together with would be the better choice. And I'm really happy with it. So let me show you. I have crocheted all the squares, all 36 squares. And yesterday, well, I blocked them. I crocheted all the squares. I used the join as you go method. There's a link to that tutorial in the pattern for the first time. And love how easy it was to put all the squares together. So you do your last round of your granny square and you join it to the next one as you go. And it's very simple. It looked a bit intimidating when I watched the video, but once I started doing it, it's like, oh, okay, I understand what's happening here. And by, I think, the time I had finished the first front, I didn't need to look at the video again. I kind of understood what to do in the various corners and the method of how it all goes together. But it's fantastic because it eliminates all those ends that you would have if you were sewing them all together. So I actually also just watched Felicia's most recent video on YouTube, and she kind of goes over how not exactly how to join as you go as in the actual stitching method, but how you put it all together. She's I messaged her or left a YouTube comment, and she messaged back to say that she's finished sewing it all together and has she's going to do her sleeves on her knitting machine, where I will be doing mine by hand, but she's hoping to be done by next week. Anyway, that's a lot to say. I have sewn the shoulders together. So you do, I'm not sure if all the I think all the sizes have the same number of squares. So it's 36 squares. So 8 for each front, and then 20 for the back. So there's my back. So as you can see, it's like a big, not exactly a square because it's 4 high, 5 wide. And then the fronts you can see are attached at the shoulders. And I have begun 2x2 ribbing for the bottom edge. So there's 2.5 inches on here. So I'm about an inch in. And then after that's done, I'll pick up the stitches for around the neck and the front. And I'm going to, you have a choice of doing buttonholes or not. I'm going to do buttonholes because even though I think I will probably most likely wear the sweater open most of the time, I want the option of closing it if I don't. And then you pick up around your sleeve openings and knit your sleeves. So no square is the same. I used all 6 colors from the color collection. This is the River Rocks colorway, by the way. I forgot to say that. And I had made a pair of socks from the River Rocks colorway years ago. And then when I spotted this DK yarn set, I just thought it would be so great, but I've never really known what to do with it. I was thinking about a striped sweater, but when I saw this and then realized I had like the perfect DK weight yarn, I was off to the races. So I have it, so every color, now you know I'm not random. If you've watched for a while, you know I can't just be random. I started my first, I think 5 or 6 squares, I was just random, and I was alternating between dark and light. It had the 3 neutrals, so the the gray and the sand color and this vanilla, and then 3 colors. So this is spruce, I think it's on here. Yeah, so there's sand, sorry, graphite. This light gray is graphite. This color sand. This is plain vanilla. Then deep mauve, spruce, and, oh sorry, deep purple, spruce, and deep mauve. So I decided I liked the way it looked when I alternated, either starting with a dark center, and so here's, for instance, the dark center, neutral, next round, dark color, you know, not dark, but color, colored center, neutral, color, neutral, color. This one's the opposite. Neutral, color, neutral, color, neutral. And I ended up doing half and half. And I ended up doing it so that no square ended up the same, and on over the course of all 36 squares, each color appears 6 times in the different location in the square. Yes, it took a little bit of figuring out. I had it all done on paper, but that's just how I work. That's just how I roll. And I'm really happy with the color distribution, and I liked the idea of doing the dark light, and yeah, I just love it. So this, I slipped it onto 2 needles so that I wouldn't lose my stitches, and this is just going to be the perfect lounge around the house, throw on when I'm cold cardigan. I have filmed a brief video just showing it full length on me, but I'll just stand up here. Look how well it fits. It is not too big and baggy, because I am not a big and baggy oversized person, but it's relaxed and it's comfy, and the yarn is so soft, and it's just going to be the perfect sweater. I cannot wait to finish it and wear it this fall and winter. I think it's just, I can just see myself wearing this a lot, which surprises me because like I said, I am not a crochet garment person at all, let alone granny squares, but fantastic project, cannot recommend it enough. If you like crocheting granny squares, it's very simple, it's very addictive. You know, you do one and you want to do another one and another one, and then the join as you go method made that joining so easy. So far the only thing that I changed is that she recommended mattress stitch for joining your shoulder seams and side seams. I did a single crochet join instead, and I picked up the, I guess it would be the outer loop, just one from the granny squares, and then I just chained them together. Nice neat seam inside, and nice flat seam, nice and tidy on the outside. So yes, super duper happy with that one. Okay, so here's how it looks so far with the bottom inch or so of bottom ribbing. There will be front bands, so the sweater will close in front. I suspect that I will most likely wear it open most of the time, but I do want to add the buttons, so I do have the option of buttoning it up if I want to. I'm really liking the fit on this. It's relaxed and casual without being overly big and chunky and oversized. It's exactly what I was aiming for. So I'll give you a quick spin so you can see how it looks from the different angles. yeah, really enjoying this project. Cannot wait to have it all finished. But wait, there's more. There's more crochet. So I was watching the Crazy Sock Lady podcast a few weeks ago, and she was making a crocheted baby blanket for her new niece, I think it is. And I have been wanting to make a blanket of some sort for my new great nephew. And I had made a quilt for his older sister, and I just decided that it would be quicker, and I don't know, I just decided that I was going to crochet a baby blanket for him instead. And I really like the pattern that Kay was using. It's called the Rainbow Ripple Baby Blanket, which is by Celeste Young. And it is a 12 pointed star. You just work out till it's big enough. So I don't have any great pictures, but that gives you an idea. Now the pattern does call for different colors and that you change them in certain places. I instead just bought a color changing yarn at Michael's. It's called Karen Baby Cakes. This is the Sky Gazing colorway. I thought those colors would be really nice for a baby boy, but not so babyish that they wouldn't, extend a little bit, as he gets a bit older. And last episode, my sister had been visiting, I think. Yeah, she was still here when I recorded last. So we had to go into Abbotsford, which is the next city closest to Vancouver, to take her to the airport. And there is a Michael's there. So we stopped there on the way and I picked up the yarn, and then I started it the next day. And I went gung-ho for a while, but I had put it on hold for a while. Now that once my cardigan's done, I'll probably pick it back up again, or if I just feel like working on crochet again, I will be turning to this. Isn't that pretty? So even though the rounds don't end, like you can see here, like there's, with this beige, for instance, or taupe, or whatever that color is, you can see these stripes are wider than it is here, because as the blanket gets bigger, it's, the stripes are going to get thinner. But overall, it's not like it catches your eye, like, oh my goodness, one color is narrower than the other. Just overall, you get this stripy effect, and that's fine with me. So yeah, enjoying that. I can't remember, I think it's a free pattern. I will link, obviously, to the project in my show notes. Everything is, if you're on YouTube, everything's linked below. I also put show notes on my blog and in the Ravelry group. And so you should be able to find links to Ravelry links, usually to all of my projects and anything else I talk about there. I never remember to say that. So anyway, yeah, this has been fun. Crochet, I did not see that coming really this year so much, but really enjoying it. Okay, the final knitting project I have, I'm going to give you a spoiler alert. It is the Wings of Wonder Mystery Knit Along, which is a shawl knit along by Lisa K. Ross of Paper Daisy Creations. And the first clue came out last Tuesday, like almost 2 weeks ago. I just caught up to that last night, and I'm starting to work on Clue 2. So if you do not want to be spoiled, look away. I will try and remember to put a timestamp down here of when I finish talking about it. And that way you can, on the video itself, you can kind of, on the, what do you call it? At the bottom of the video where you can see how much you've watched, you'll see there are lines and chapters, and you can just click on that. I know a lot of people do chapters for all their videos. I don't take the time to do that, but I do it when there are spoilers so that you're not spoiled. Before I show you the shawl, I ordered this, it doesn't look that great in here because I've got all the colors in Ziploc bags, numbered bags. This is yarn from Sweet Paprika, and it's a merino cashmere blend. I don't know if it says anywhere on here. I don't think so. Because it's not one of the yarns they normally carry, so I can't even find it on Ravelry to link. But this is actually a yarn set that they had put together for the Mountain Musings Mystery Knit Along, which was not the last one, but the Mystery Knit Along, shawl Mystery Knit Along before this one by Paper Daisy Creations. And a little while ago they had sent out, I think it was a newsletter to say, hey, vote on the colorway you'd like to bring back from that knit along for this one. And obviously this one was voted in, and it's called Summit. And it's a beautiful mix of grays and blues. And it reminded me of the Great Blue Heron yarn set from Miss Babs, which is one that Lisa Ross promoted, and she loved it so much she said she was going to do a second shawl in that colorway. So I sort of thought, well, let's run with it. And it's a fairly neutral colorway, and I thought, well, if she really likes it, then I'm going to go for that. So even though it's Summit based on a picture of a snowy mountain top, the colors are similar to Great Blue Heron. So that's my inspiration for buying this colored set. And now, without any further ado, I'm going to show you where I'm at so far. So here I am. Whoops, that's showing up quite well. I'm pleased about that. So for the first clue ended after, I think, after this cream colored ripple stripe. And so clue 2, or did I say clue 2 ended? Clue 1 ended with this one. Clue 2, you work the same ripple stripe in color 6 and color 7, and then you switch to a pattern called Birdseed, and you're doing a slip stitch pattern, and you're using all of these colors again. So it's, to me, it's probably some sort of separation between this and then the next. We are increasing on one edge and decreasing on another, and so the overall shape is kind of a, you can see that diagonal, so it's not going to be a rectangle. And I always struggle with the name of this shape. Is it a I'll put it down below. I did a similar shaped shawl before by, I think it was Caitlin Hunter, and that whole time that I was showing it on the podcast, I would struggle with what this is called. is it quadrilateral maybe? Something like that. Anyway, you can see that the sides are going that way. It's quite wide. I dropped down, I didn't swatch for it, but instead of using, I think it's a 3.75 millimeter needle that the pattern recommends. Anyway, I dropped down 0.5 millimeter. I'm a loose knitter, and her shawls are very large, and last one I did is like huge. I use it as kind of a lap blanket. It's that big. So I thought, well, if I do a smaller size needle, it won't be maybe quite as long. You had a choice in this section of doing a chevron pattern that uses increases, like what do they call them, lifted increases, or you could do a lace pattern. I chose the more solid. I thought for the end of a shawl it might be a little bit more solid, a little bit more stable. And I really love how it's looking up. This is called plumage chevrons. And then the next pattern that's coming up is okay, where is it? Something about birdseed. I can't find it. Maybe you don't have the, oh yeah, birdseed mosaic. So this is a Wings of Wonder. It's a bird themed make along. It's always so fun when because she just runs with these themes. And so you have bird watching supplies. That's where she lays out, you know, your needles and yarn. And then all the patterns are, you know, have bird references. So I very much enjoy Lisa's make-alongs. I've done a couple of different cowl ones and shawl ones. This is my third shawl one now, and they're very, very enjoyable. I have not popped into the Ravelry group yet, but normally I do post pictures there, and it's always so inspiring to see everybody's different versions of the same project. I just haven't got to that yet. Woo! I just dropped a skein of yarn on the floor, but that's okay. I'll get it in a second. Okay, spinning. I am delighted to finally be finished with my pink merino sparkle from Useful Creations. And here it is. This yarn took forever to spin, and it took forever to ply because it was very, very fine. It's the finest yarn I've ever spun. If you're new here, I just started spinning back, I think it was in April. And so I'm still really new at it. Yeah, it took a long time, and I couldn't believe how long the plying took, like hours and hours. And then once it was all plied, it wasn't as tightly plied as I would have liked in a lot of places. That seems to be something that's happening with me, and I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong with the plying to do that, but I did what I've done before, and I ran it through and spun it, I plied it again, or not, I didn't ply it again, but I put it through the spinning wheel again to tighten the ply that I had done. That's after I had already washed it. And so I did that. It definitely improved the ply, and I've washed it again. So I'll bring it closer so hopefully you can see. I'm really pleased with how it's, I mean, they're always going to have thick and thin parts and stuff, but overall it's quite consistent. It definitely bloomed with washing. I have not counted, like, I don't know how much is here, but I would say it ranges from a heavy lace to a light fingering, which is crazy. And I think it would make a really pretty lace shawlette or cowl, something like that. It's very pretty, and look, really well balanced. You can tell, again, if you're not a spinner, if it's not balanced, it'll do this, twist a bit, but like it's really well balanced. It's very light feeling. Yeah, really pleased. Now, I had a lot of waste from this one because when I started it, I really struggled, and I just had it probably had it too tight, and it was slipping out of my fingers and breaking. And even when I was plying it, there's a few places where I had to join because my yarn broke, my singles broke. But you know, given all the heartbreak, and I was so ready to be done with this when I was done, but despite that, I'm really happy with it. And I did use, in retrospect, I think I wish I had done a 3-ply, but I didn't, so it is what it is. I did use the remainder to do a chain ply, which is not a traditional 3-ply where you take 3 strands and ply them together. This is a method where you're making this big long crochet chain, which until you do it doesn't make sense, but it works. So I'm happy with this chain ply, and yeah, you can see how that twists a bit. That's because it's a little bit over twisted. But yeah, pleased with that too. I don't know what I'm gonna do with all these little bits of leftovers, but they're good learning experiences because this is what was left on one of the bobbins once I'd finished spinning the two together, and rather than try and divide that up and do a, you know, add that to my 2-ply, I just thought that was a good time to practice the 3-ply or the chain ply. So I did that. Now I am on to some beautiful fiber from Sweet Georgia Yarns. This is a Corriedale. It's 100% Corriedale wool. There's 100 grams of spinning fiber, and you can see it's the tapestry colorway. I bought 3 braids of this. It's gorgeous. Look at the beautiful kind of autumnal colors in a way. I didn't really think about that till I look at them here. And what I have done is I've taken each braid, I've divided it in 4 lengthwise. So I have, for each braid, I have 4 long strips, and I am spinning 2 of them, so back to back, onto a bobbin. So I've done, for instance, I've spun, I've named this or divided them into like 1, 2, and 3. So this is the second braid. So with the first braid, I have spun 1 of these, and I'm on the beginning of the second one. Once I do that, I will move to braid number 2, and I will spin 2 of these things end to end. And you'll see I have them wound in such a way that I know which is my outside and which is my inside. So I'm starting them from the same place in the braid. And then I will do the same with braid number 3. And then I will ply those all together. And then I will do the same all over again. So what I'm going to do is end up with 2 skeins, 150 grams each of a 3-ply. 1 ply from each of the braids. And we'll see how it looks. I should get some good barber poling, and some areas will probably spin up with the same colors going through. So I think that's gonna look really neat. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it till I see what it becomes. Whether it will be, my guess is it's probably gonna end up being like a sport weight based on how I'm spinning it. And speaking of that, I didn't bring in my bobbin to show you, but here is a picture of it on the bobbin, and it's really pretty. So my guess it's gonna be maybe more like a DK when it's done. Parts are spinning quite fine, but when you put three together, you know, and it probably will plump up. So maybe even a DK to worsted, I don't know. But I'm having fun spinning this one because the colors are just so fun, and you have some milestones as you go. So you work your way through this purple section, and then the green, and then the pink, and so it just isn't boring. Where I think that was a part of the thing with the pink yarn is, even though there were color variations within the skein, it just got very monotonous. So been enjoying that spin. I think what I'm gonna do is break here, go warm up what's left of my tea, maybe grab a quick bite, and come back and talk about what's been happening since we last met. So I'll be back here. For you, it'll seem like a second. For me, it's gonna be a few minutes. There, that's better. I had a quick little snack and warmed up my tea so it's nice and hot again. It is after what is my usual lunchtime, so once I finish here, I'll go and have something a little more substantial. All right, where to start? My husband is always looking through the real estate paper. He's been doing it for years, even though we have not had any intention of moving. We've lived in our house, this summer it has been 35 years. And we've been perfectly happy here. However, back in, I think it was in March or April, he spotted a condo and showed it to me. We both really liked it. And we didn't pursue it, but every week he'd get the real estate paper, and every week he'd say, oh, that condo's still in there. So back, I think it was in June or July maybe, we decided that we really should go look at it to decide one way or the other whether this was a place that was right for us. Because, you know, I've been doing a lot of thinking about our future lately. My husband is coming up on retirement age. We've been exploring options on how the next few years will go. Whether he's going to retire right away, says he's not quite ready, what changes there might be at work. We've had a lot of discussions and done some, you know, had some help from our financial advisor and things like that. So there's been a lot going on these last several months. And one of those things has been this idea of, are we ready to move? And so we did go look at this condo, and we liked many, many things about it. However, it has a very high strata fee each month, higher than normal. And it's also been on the market for a very long time. And while that could work to our advantage in that we could get it for a really good price, we may have trouble selling it in the future because of these high strata fees. So we decided not to go for that one. But in the meantime, we had contacted a real estate agent and thought we really should, before we could even pursue this, we need to know what our house is worth. And so the agent came and went through the house as they do and had recommendations for things we should do in order to prepare it in case we wanted to list it. We did go look at another condo in the meantime, which just wasn't didn't quite meet our needs. But we've spent the last, especially the last several weeks, very intensely cleaning up our house, decluttering, doing some painting, just rearranging. One recommendation was upstairs we have 3 bedrooms, but 2 of them had been converted, this one into a craft room and the one next door into an office. And she recommended that we make at least one of them a bedroom again, just so, you know, a prospective buyer could see it as a bedroom. And so we moved one of the spare rooms downstairs, the one where I sometimes record in the mornings, upstairs, and then that room has since become the office. You can see my craft room's never been this clean or this empty. I have a lot of things down in the garage in plastic bins. It may even sound a little emptier in here today as I record. I'm not sure. There's definitely a lot less yarn and fiber, etc., to absorb the sound. We changed our bedding. We have a big armoire in our bedroom that we've taken down to the garage, which has actually been a really good thing because that has now become my knitwear storage. We took the TV out of it, and our living room now has a TV again. It hasn't had a TV in it since we finished our downstairs family room when our kids were, I think, like teenagers. And they're all in their 30s and no, they're all in their 30s. They're still all in their 30s. It's our 40th wedding anniversary. Our daughter turned 39. She's our oldest child. So anyway, it's been really a lot of work. It's been very stressful decluttering, going through things, deciding what to keep and what to donate and what to throw away. It's been really hard to let go of some things, and not just that, but to make the decisions. I think that's even harder than letting things go. It's making lots and lots and lots of decisions. And so I'm the painter in the family, so I've been doing that. Another recommendation was to paint our bathroom vanity into a more neutral color. I had painted it black and white years ago to match my decorating theme for our bathroom, and so that was like 3 coats. All the touch up, just it has been a lot of work, eating up our weekends for sure, parts of my weekdays. And just, the decisions, I think. So hadn't been sleeping well, and I think that's what sort of I got run down, and I think that's why I got sick. The idea is that we were going to have photos taken. We're not listing it until we find something we want. We're in a really good situation in that we don't have to move. It's only if we really find like the right place. And so we had photos taken on Tuesday. And that way, if we find something we like, our house can get listed right away. They did photos and measurements. So it's a weird position to be in. So as of Tuesday, I thought, okay, now I can breathe a little bit. Can bring some things out that, you know, have been tucked away, and, you know, you have to just keep everything so clean. And then, yeah, I was going to record, like I said, on Thursday, and then promptly got sick. But that's so typical of me. I remember when I was, like going to school. I was going to school and my kids were younger, and just going, and then I'd write my last exam and then I'd get sick. See, so it's like you ward it off as long as you have to. So I think that's what happened. Thankfully, I'm feeling better now, but I missed yesterday was the spin in for the Chilliwack Spinners and Weavers Guild, which I've just joined. And I had planned to go, and I was looking forward to not just the spinning, but the opportunity to buy fiber. And apparently they had a silent auction. My daughter phoned me last night afterwards, and she got a table loom. I think it's about 24-inch table loom. Actually, I don't think it's that wide. Maybe, it's hard to tell from the photos. Anyway, she's quite excited about that. That was her silent auction purchase. But anyway, yeah, it's just been a weird time because here we are mid-September. I don't even know where the last few weeks have gone. Well, I do know where they've gone. They've just disappeared though. And then we realized we had a note from the woman that we curl with, and our first curling game is tomorrow night, which really snuck up on us. My other league doesn't start until the following week, so I haven't been, neither of us have been down to practice or anything, so we'll be strapping on our curling shoes, and the first rocks we throw will be the first rocks we've thrown this year. Normally we try and get a practice in. And this year the league has really expanded, and so now we're going to have a late draw some nights. So I think between now and Christmas we have 4 nights that we curl at 9 o'clock instead of 7 o'clock, which doesn't thrill us. One of the reasons we chose the Monday night curling is that they didn't used to have 2 draws. But looking forward to getting back into curling again. Definitely have, I definitely need to move more, get back in shape. It's just been, yeah, just, it's usually the fall is a good time for that. I start moving more and eating better, and I'm looking forward to that aspect of it too. But yeah, I wasn't quite ready for curling. Other than that, so next weekend, I think I mentioned we're in a golf tournament for my husband's work. So that should be fun. It always is. And beyond that, I don't know. We are going to look at a condo Tuesday night. Will it be the one? I have no idea, but if it is, then all this starts all over again, because we have, we were advised to, you know, tidy up the things that are visible, not to worry about closets so much, but we have a few closets that we really need to go through. So more decisions, more packing up and purging. I'm not looking forward to that, but I am looking forward to it in the sense that it will then be done. If we were to move, I want it to be that we can just move in, put things away and not be doing the decision making so much on that end. I mean, some things you might have to, once you get in, see how your furniture fits, things like that. But the hard stuff I want to be taken care of. So yeah, it's kind of I guess a time of transition. Just looking at these next few years with retirement for my husband looming and how that might change our lives, and the prospect of perhaps moving. That's not a for sure. I mean, it will happen sometime in the next few years. It may not happen right away. We're just going to have to see what we find. It's going to have to be, we're going to have to love it as much as we love here. And if you've been watching for a while, we've just completely redid our kitchen about a year and a half ago, and I love it. But we have more house than we need, and there's yard work that has to be taken care of. That's a fair chunk of time and effort on weekends where we might rather be doing something else. And so yeah, we're just gonna have to see what happens. It's exciting and stressful at the same time. But I'm hoping the next few weeks are just a little less so. I'm hoping to have more time to craft. I'm hoping to have time to catch up on all the comments on YouTube and the Ravelry boards. I'm apologize, they've just been neglected for weeks and weeks. So please, I appreciate your understanding as far as that goes. I've always said I don't make any money off this podcast. I do it because I enjoy it and I like interacting with the community that way. And I've always said when it stops being fun, I'll stop doing it. And sometimes that just means, it's not that it's not fun, but it's sometimes real life has to take priority, and I'm sure you understand that. All right, something good. It's something good is something sweet. I actually just had a couple of them to tide me over to lunchtime. These things are so good, too good. I was introduced to them by one of my sisters, and they are from Costco. Apparently they're a seasonal item in the bakery section, so get them while you can if you're interested. Nani's Bites, and they are limoncello, they call it biscottini. So it's like a, what do you call them? Biscotti, but they're little mini lemon ones. And they are no artificial colors, flavors, or preservatives, perfectly crunchy and unbelievably snacky. And I will say that that is true. They are these little bites. They have lemon icing, and they're, you know how biscotti can be really hard and you have to dip it into your hot drink? That is not the case with these. They are very light and crispy. I'll keep that one out after I press stop on here. But yeah, these are good if you like lemon. Highly recommend. Very delicious. So no affiliates or anything, just my something good for this week. And on that note, I hope you're all doing well. I thank you so much for watching. I thank you for your understanding for the unresponded to comments, and hopefully there aren't questions in the Ravelry group. If there are, I'm sorry. I will try and get into there as soon as I can and start catching up. I've seen that there are, I think the last time I looked, I think there were 44 new finished projects in the Rock Your Socks FO thread. Can't wait to see them. I'm always love seeing what you guys make, so keep the sharing coming. And I will try and record again very soon. I think I will wait until October, and that way I can do the draws for the gift away and the Ravelry make-alongs all at the same time. So look for another episode early in October. So take care until then, and thanks again for watching. See you soon.